I wanted to just have this, but then I realized that there's tree map software out there that looks like a tree map, but it works completely different. And I'll show you in a second. Well, actually, I can show you right now. It's right here. So notice how this almost, it takes each and every entry in the row and it just creates one triangle for it, one rectangle for it. And then you can group those rectangles using the hierarchy, kind of group them together. And then more hierarchy, you can group bigger parts into something bigger. But this type of tree is going to have, unless it's zero, it's going to have, if it's zero, the size is going to be zero, so you don't see it. But it should have all the non-zero, one triangle for all non-zero entries in my data set. Here is the data set. Okay, let me show you what another software visualization, and kind of I was looking at more than one, and they don't work the same way. And that was the problem, even allowing it, everyone kind of pick and choose. You wouldn't understand what you're looking at the other person's visualization if you haven't used that software. And just it's not part of the homework to understand it immediately, so it will take time. But let me do this with another tool. So I'm going to get the data from, I already kind of went through and created an actual Excel file from it. I took away that second row from this one, so it doesn't have the data types. Okay, here I'm going to take a tree map. And I grabbed the wrong thing there. Make it a little bit larger here and make this a little bit small. I don't think I'm going to use this tonight. And then we populate stuff in here. So for example, I can get region. And then I can get Gore votes here. Not the details, sorry, I put on the values. And I can get Bush votes here. And it kind of does a tree map, but it's not going to be easy to add one more level. That's it. In this tool, it does a tree map, but it unless you can go around and kind of, but you have to work quite a lot to add more than three. The original tree map, you can add levels until you can't understand anything from it. At some point, you lose track of what you're seeing. This one, though, on the other hand, it's kind of doing the opposite. You can only add 2 levels. And that's not the different part. There's 2 levels. But here, notice that I can go to, so let me make it more like, it doesn't break it down by states. It just breaks it down by who gets the votes, which is impossible. I was trying to do the same. Maybe it's not, but maybe I don't know how to do it. I mean, it's hard to prove a negative, but it's not straightforward. If I pull up tree map, there's no way to break it down by Bush. I can use one of them here, for example, to say, hey, I want Bush votes here. But there's no way to add the Gore votes or any other value like there is in the other two. So this one still treats each state, each entry like this. It treats it as one object. The other tool that I was showing, not the original tree map, it kind of chops it. You can chop it into this and that and that, and just add that stuff to visualize. So I can do Bush votes and Gore votes almost as if they're independent. It's not telling me, how they relate to each other. In the other one, you can see what state and how many votes and so forth. So this one, impossible to make it like that. So notice that it's kind of almost the analogy that I have. It would be the parallel coordinate plots, PCP, versus star plots. So star or Chernow phase. Star plots, Chernow phases, it feels like this is much more object-centric, if I can call. I mean, it's not an exact similarity, but it's kind of an analogy. So it just deals with one line, pretty much. It treats it as one line, and you cannot mix and match. You cannot chop off a line. And this one is more attribute-centric. So here, if I want to, I can put the population as well, eventually. And it shows the population, but it just adds another thing with that. It's not doing another level of hierarchy. It just keeps, it's almost like you're chopping your data on columns and then feeding them into this this table. The other one, it looks like you're always chopping the data on rows, and you take one row and put it in there. So that's why I don't think I can do this. Because you would see tree map sometimes crashes. So if you have something that you like, save it. Be ready that it will crash on you at some point if you keep playing with it. Obviously, all other tools, there are some tools out there that are a lot more, solid. They don't crash that often, but this is not the tree map algorithm that they're talking about. This is a completely different thing that they're doing. It looks like a tree map, but there is no way to correlate this view with any of these other views. I have no way of replicating that. And actually, I have no way of replicating this view in here. So, but this guy, I figured, here is the history. I just changed everything this semester. So until now, I was only doing the original tree map, this one. And then students were like, oh, but this is old and it crashes and it's cumbersome. It's like, yes, but that's how tree maps are supposed to work. That's how the inventor kind of put them together. And then I wanted to kind of give you guys the flexibility, use whatever you want, but then I realized that it's not going to work. Whatever you see here, it's completely different than whatever you see on the other side. It's not just the visual, it's the mechanics, the way they build it behind the scenes, it's different.